Hey, welcome to this week's Mortgage Minute with Mitch. So today it's actually National Dessert Day, so one of my personal favorites, and also Be Bald and Free Day. So I can't say I enjoy being bald, but do enjoy my freedom. So this week, another roller coaster ride in the market. It's almost too much news to really digest. So I'm going to hit a couple main points that really moved the market this week. The first one being the Federal Reserve released their minutes from September's meeting. And the minutes are basically like, their summary where they really write things down and go in depth on what they discussed and how it's going to affect their policy. So a lot of investors and speculators really read between the lines there and try to predict what's going to happen with monetary policy. So essentially what the Federal Reserve said is the cost of doing too little outweighs the cost of doing too much. So what they're saying is they're too afraid that not doing enough is going to be far worse than by them doing too much. So they're going to keep being aggressive, keep these rate hikes increasing, and that's the aggressive campaign they want to take, as opposed to sitting back and trying to be too calm and too relaxed about it. So that leads a lot of people to believe they're going to continue raising interest rates. Now, another thing also, inflation numbers came out this week, and everything from CPI, the Consumer Price Index, core inflation, actual inflation year over year, everything came back either on target or worse than expected. So nothing came back better than expected. That being said, again, as long as inflation looks like it's out of control, Fed's going to continue to raise rates. Now, on the good side, if you want to call this good news, the initial unemployment claims actually went up 2 weeks in a row. So as you can see, the chart, it was starting to decline, but now it's going back up a little bit. Now, the strong job market we're experiencing is part of the reason why inflation is going up. So if the job market starts to cool off, that could change the Fed's tune and slow down interest rates just a little bit. All right, and then the last big topic was coming out of the UK. The Bank of England kind of reversed course. They changed the policies and stopped buying what their equivalent of the 10-year treasury is. So that news rippled across Europe and actually really improved markets. So across the board, we saw some major improvements. Stock market, bond market, everything improved after that news traveled here across the pond. So how long that'll continue or what kind of rally we'll see, it's hard to say, because as of today, we're losing some of that pricing we got back yesterday. So it is a bit of a reminder that you're going to see a ton of clickbait. You're going to see all kinds of articles out there, doom and gloom, housing market's doing this, rates are doing that, and a lot of it, again, it's just to get you to click on it. So, one example is a year ago, Loretta Mester, the head of the Federal Reserve here in Cleveland, came out and said, hey, inflation's not high enough. We need to see higher inflation. Here we are 12 months later. What we're doing is not enough to lower inflation. Inflation's out of control, so we need to continue raising rates to fight inflation. So, it's a complete opposite ends of the spectrum in just 12 months. So even somebody in a position like that, ahead of the Federal Reserve, still can't predict or grasp what the market's doing. It's such a complex system. So anyway, that being said, I do my best to share what I learn and pick up with you. I don't try to be the expert. I'm not the end-all, but hopefully I can share some information with you and just help you have some insight as to where things are heading. So is it still a good time to buy a house? I still think absolutely. We're still below the historic 40-year average of 7.7%. So granted, we're approaching pretty quickly, but it's still not a bad time to buy, and it really just depends on your situation. So if you would like to know, happy to have that conversation. Let's sit down, walk through, and figure out if it's the best time for you to buy a house. So on to some fun news. Guardians currently playing right now. Last I saw, still tied 2-2 against the Yankees. We're down a game, but hey, can never count these guys out. So some exciting baseball to watch. The Buckeyes actually have the week off. They're in a bye week. The Cavaliers are playing tonight, the last preseason game against the Magic, and they'll actually start their season on Wednesday. So looking forward to that. And lastly, the Browns beat themselves again last week, should have won. We'll see if they can right the ship against the Patriots this week. So any questions, let me know. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.